Welcome back sa SIBOL 2022 National Team Selection powered by Smart. Muli kami ang inyong casters. My name is Tio Ignacio. Kasama ko dito ang nag-iisang kay Sam Wolf Nopueto. Game 1 was such a big upset. El Ganador Esports, one of two non-MPL teams taking down the M2 World Champions, BREN Esports. What can you say about that victory and what can we expect entering game number 2?
Yeah, I think more disciplined BREN Esports siguro I can expect. Pero a fired up El Ganador. Alam mo, Womi, I think you probably know this, right? You have experience with amateur teams in many esports titles. At alam natin na yung mga ganitong mga teams, when they take wins from the top teams, yung mga nasa liga, yung mga quote-unquote professional teams, at nakakuha sila ng panalo at decisive manner pa, they carry that over at nararamdaman nila yon. At yun talaga yung dahilan kung ba't maraming upsets na nangyayari. So this is what I'm excited about. How will El Ganador actually handle that win, di ba? Let's just say, okay na, naka-recover sila from a game that they should have lost. But now, how do they handle victories against a top-tier team? I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Ibang klase din kasi ang composure talaga na kailangan. Especially if hype na hype ka na. Minsan kasi parang double-edged sword ang hype, no, Wolf? Minsan, ang saya mo sobra na nagiging relax ka na lang. Pero may mga iba naman na pag na-hype, parang gumagaling, dumodoble pa ang galing. Let's see kung anong klaseng mga manlalaro ang nasa El Ganador Esports. Hindi biro na nakaabot sila sa ating Phase 2. Dumaan sila sa ating Phase 1 qualifiers. Mind you, sa mga viewers natin dyan, napakadaming malakas na teams ang nag-compete sa ating open qualifiers para sa SIBOL 2022 National Team Selection. In fact, may mga MPL teams pa nga na hindi nakaabot ng Phase 2. But right now, we are entering Game 2. This is match point already for El Ganador Esports. For BREN Esports, they're hoping to take this game and extend the series to a best of 3. This is just our 3rd series of the day. Meron pa tayong 4th series mamaya. Lower bracket pa rin yun. But right now, we're waiting for game number 2 to start. Sino ang MVP natin for I think last game? Because of course, we need to know ang ating mga manlalaro. Just to celebrate as well, no? Sa El Ganador, magbanggit ka ng pangalan. Sino ba yung sa tingin mo talagang...
Okay. That's a tough one. Kasi feeling ko altogether, I mean, sobrang cliche, di ba? Pero yung recovery nila, sabay-sabay. I think I want to give it to the Claude, actually. Kasi kaya ko siya binibigay MVP sa kanya kasi isang beses lang siya namatay dun sa isang laning stage na mahirapan dapat siya. Early game, I mean. Pero ang ganda ng items niya. I think ibibigay ko sa kanya yung MVP kasi maganda yung kanyang selection. Yung pagtawag niya kay Kufra, ewan ko kung sino nag-shot call nung pag-help sa kanya sa ringing stage ng Kufra. Tapos yung hindi siya namatay at kumuha siya ng Wind of Nature tapos brute force blessed blade. The itemization was perfect. So, I think I'm gonna give it to him.
Yeah, so Joseph Hilardo, si Joseph sa loob ng laro. Tignan natin kung ganun pa rin ba ang kanyang ipipick sa ating smart picks and bans. Nandito na tayo sa game number 2, of course, pero bago natin tignan kung paano lalabas ang ating smart pick and bans, experience the power of smart 5G in over 4,900 sites nationwide. Switch now to experience a difference. Visit smart.com.ph/MNP to learn more. Hashtag muling lumakad matatag and hashtag SIBOL powered by Smart ang ating official hashtags para sa SIBOL 2022 National Team Selection. For our first bans, BREN Esports, tatanggalin nila ang Matilda. El Ganador Esports, re-respetuhin nila ang Johead ni Joyboy.
Yeah. So, just like in the previous game, yung Johead, I think 3rd ban yata yun. So, nandiyan pa rin ang Valentina, pati ang Selena. Not really confident na magbabago yung mga bans na yan. I'm sorry. The phrase is, I'm confident na hindi magbabago yung mga picks ng mga bans ng El Ganador. So that means either Selena o kaya naman Valentina sa last 2 bans ng El Ganador. Ano naman sa BREN Esports, it still is the Lancelot. Baka makakita ulit tayo ng Yuzong. And as per script, nandiyan pa rin ang Selena, Sir Womi.
Selena tatanggalin kay Mr. Archangel, kay Kapitan Few, El Ganador Esports definitely knows what to ban against BREN Esports this time around. And ganun na ganun din nga ang bans na nanggagaling sa BREN Esports. So let's expect something quite similar from game number 1. Hopefully, para sa mga BREN Esports fans natin dyan, hindi same results considering na natalo sila noong game 1. First Mage plus a Roger, something na nakita nating huling beses nung M3 pa. Pero kadalasan, Eudora ang isinasama. Gumagana pa rin kapag sinama naman sa Kadita. Let's see if uulitin ng El Ganador ang ganong klaseng strategy.
Ooh. So, EDIF, ang kanilang iba, which was also very instrumental dun sa first game. So, to answer your question mo, meron ng isang nawala dun sa kanilang recipe from the previous game. As expected, magkaroon ng adjustment nga. So, that means, open yung Yuzhong. I wonder kung interested nga ba ang El Ganador na kunin yun? Or maybe, hindi ako magulat kung ang BREN Esports ay kukunin yung Yuzhong na yun to deny it away from El Ganador. So, I'm guessing Valentina ban para sa El Ganador. It just makes total sense here. I think, baka hindi natin makita yung Valentina after that game kahapon. Nakita natin si Baloyski. Ano mistaken mo
si Greed.
Si Greed, correct. So yun na nga. Ang hula ko dito sa Valentina, hindi na ito ibibigay. Sobrang lakas at napaka mechanically.
Ayaw mo lang sabihin yung D-word eh. Yung D-word, ayaw mo sabihin yung D-word. Napaka-daya. Pero, syempre biro lang, hindi naman madaya ang hero na to. Kumbaga, ang Valentina talaga, ay sabihin na lang natin, napakataas ng kanyang utility. Dahil nga sa kanyang abilidad na mangnakaw ng mga ultimates. And predicted na natin to dati pa, di ba? Na ganito naman talaga nangyayari kapag nagkakaroon ng isang hero na kayang mangagaw ng ultimates. Ay 15 seconds ang BREN Esports para pumili ng kanilang first priority pick. And they will take the glue once again na kanina kinuha din nila.
Exactly. Ngayon, dahil available ang Yuzhong, interesado ba ang El Ganador na kunin to? They also went for the Claude first. Ayun. Ulitin nila yung Claude. Siguro kukombohan nila ng isang kanilang XP lane katulad ng previous game, which happens to be yung EDIF. Pero kasi yung maganda dun sa EDIF is open pick, flex pick siya. So you won't know kung XP lane agad siya automatically o kaya isa siyang roamer. With Yuzhong, alam mo na XP lane talaga yun. Lalong-lalo na meron ng Claude na pinili. So I think yung El Ganador might not be picking the Yuzhong despite the bans. Ang isa pa, ang pulling na nila instead is the Kufra.
Yeah, Kufra definitely is the S-tier tank of the meta. No? Kung iisipin natin, parang siya ang go-to choice ng mga setter na tank. And Atlas surprisingly getting a comeback. Marami na rin nagpipick up muli ng Atlas sa ating and the Ruby as well. Ito na nga. And BREN Esports in terms of Ruby, Joyboy yesterday pulled off a massive Ruby highlight against Blacklist International that actually won them one game in that best-of-3 series. So let's see if Joyboy could have a repeat performance of that Ruby now that we are entering a do-or-die match against El Ganador Esports. Ano kaya ang magiging final pick nila of the first picking phase of the second game? Hintay na lang natin lumabas eh.
It's nice notch dun sa Pakito kasi ano rin ito it's one of the bread and butter of BREN Esports na lagi nilang in-open pick, but instead El Ganador not even wasting any time at all, kumuha agad ng Eve. Halos ninakaw nila itong hero na to mula sa BREN Esports na isa sa mga heroes nila kanina. What I don't like about this is baka makontra din sila ng mga tipo na mga great knockups kami na from BREN Esports. Maybe Cho na pwede ko rin sa XP lane. Pwede rin silang kumuha ng pwede rin sila kumuha ng Kadita na nakita natin from the previous game sa El Ganador. And BREN Esports, may mga players sila na kayang gumamit nun. So surely pwede na kunin yan.
Yep, and I think Wolf, meron pang isang pick na talagang sikat na sikat ngayon, the Sicilian as well, na pwedeng mamontra ng isang Eve with the Sanguine Claws na napakahaba din ng range. Literal, aantayin lang niyang real-world manipulation, throw out that Sanguine Claws and in an instant, and it safely cancels that real-world manipulation. So hopefully El Ganador Esports are gonna take it out, pero sila mismo ang nagtanggal ng Kadita against BREN Esports. The Sicilian, quite strong in dispatch, still open to take for BREN Esports. Let's see if they're gonna take it. Kulang pa sila ng post 4 at possible jungler kung hindi jungle tong Pakito na to.
Yep, I think since may glue na tas may ruby, I think it just makes sense na mapakita na to. Yung Phobius, automatic cancel talaga siya. So you see this ban on the Kadita as well na na-mention natin kanina. This is both teams understanding talaga yung sarili nilang win condition. And El Ganador, they came in prepared against BREN Esports. Yun yung masasabi ko dito. Let's see kung ano ang idadagdag ng BREN Esports. Babalik ba sila dun sa mga tipo ng mga Brody? Or what will they answer now for the Eve? Ano yung papalit nila? Babalik ba sila sa Lilia? I will not be surprised if Lilia actually is the answer para sa BREN Esports. Nag-make sense siya sa Eve, pati na rin sa Claude.
I have to agree with you there, but another answer that BREN Esports could actually do is the Mathilda mid na nakikita din natin paminsan-minsan na pinipick against the Eve. Correct me if I'm wrong na lang. Yun yung literal na mag-guiding wind ka lang palabas ng real-world manipulation. But Tams will be the XP lane pickup here for El Ganador Esports. Paano ang matchup natin dito? Glue versus Tams. Sino nga ba ang lamang?
I would say theoretically parang glue pa rin eh. Kasi yung passive ng isang glue na kapag nakapag-stack siya dun kay Thams reduces the damage taken at usually damage dealt ang bread and butter ng isang Thams. Kaya siya nakapag-lifesteal, kaya siya nakapag-sustain. At bukod sa makunot na yung glue, tas na the damage pa niya yung Thams, tas melee pa itong Thams, so madali lang yung contest. I think it's glue-sided. So as predicted, it's going to be the Brody. Tapos, Lilia, nakita na natin si Phil gamit niya. But instead, Farsa. Okay ang kanyang kukunin.
Wow. We're back again in Season 8 of MPL Philippines.
Oo nga eh.
With the Farsa in the Eve matchup, despite the nerfs. Ako na nagsasabi, parang minsan nakakaumay na, no? Na Eve Farsa, paulit-ulit na lang. Even with the nerfs, nakikita pa rin natin na talagang napaka-dependent ng ibang compositions to actually, or not even dependent. Kumbaga parang napakalaking bonus kasi na napakataas ng area of effect mo with your range. And now, Ling will be the final pickup here for the side of El Ganador Esports. Do you think this Ling fits in well or medyo may questions ka ba tungkol doon?
Fit siya kung in theory, matatalunan niya yung likod, yung backlines, like the Farsa, the Brody. Tapos meron kang invulnerability frame na may kasamang naka para din makontrol at ma-outplay yung isang Brody. The only question mark here is pare silang farm dependent ni Claude. Pare silang kailangan ng purple buff din in the late game. So baka mag-agawan sila dito ng resources. And it's always tricky if that's the case, diba? Kasi parang madali siyang i-punish ng composition ng BREN Esports. And I think magiging katulad to nung first game, Womi. Mag-snowball ang side ng BREN Esports. At kung hindi nila matapos, sobrang dali ng late game dahil sa strength ng heroes at sa scaling mula sa El Ganador. So, this might be a repeat of the first game. And this time, BREN Esports needs to close it out as fast as possible.
Tignan natin kung maisara ba ng BREN Esports ang laro na to at umabot tayo ng Game 3. Let's enter Game number 2 between BREN Esports and El Ganador Esports into the land of Don Rico. This is match point already for El Ganador Esports, an amateur team facing a former world champion at isang panalo na lang ang kailangan nila.
Ever so closer. Ipoprove nila na parang may jitters lang. So they won. It's the first round ng SIBOL 2022 National Team Selection Qualifiers ng round 1. At this time, they're looking so good. Tingnan natin kung ano mag-adjustment. Just like the previous game, tutulungan ni Lumiere. Ito si Joseph sa top.
Actually, no? Dumaan para i-referee.
Nice one. And for sure, hindi yun in-expect ni Saksa.
True. Alam mo, just Ling things yun eh. Yung dadaan, pinch poise, retry, alis.
Yeah. I've seen it so many times before. At malaking bagay din yon para sa isang Ling. Obviously, lamang pa rin naman ang pakito sa early stages kumpara sa isang Ling kung talagang balag-bagay lang usapan. But every inch na makuha ng isang lane na when it comes to advantage, is be happy with that for sure.
Yeah. And El Ganador Esports, no, they are ahead by just 200 gold. Hindi pa yun significant. 20 seconds from now, the turtle will be spawning in near bottom side. And ngayon, nakikita natin na marami talaga nagko-convert dito near the gold lane. Joyboy forces out the Tempest of Blades early out of Brisk. And now the lane does not have that ultimate in case they fight for that turtle.
Ito, maliit na bagay na meron kang 300 gold lead, but that means a lot para sa El Ganador Esports kasi dalawa ang sinasabi niyan. Una, they're holding tight sa early stages. Pangalawa, they're prepping up para sa late game power skill nila. So, that's really good.
Inferno, pop here by Percent, and the turtle will be going to the hands of the captain himself. Magtutuloy ang laban dito si Percent. Ibabalik niya si Granzu at babagsak na nga first blood to the hands of Saxajago. BREN Esports not only secures the turtle, but secures the first blood as well.
Sobrang all-in ng El Ganador Esports sa pag-contest ng turtle na yun na sobrang napakomit na sila. They wanted to go for the steal, kumbaga, or security on that turtle. But BREN Esports was able to get it dahil doon kay Few. Sobrang veteran move na yun. And unfortunately for Brisk, hindi ganun ka-on point yung kanyang retribution. And you can see here, nagbiglang, dahil doon sa pagkatalo nila doon sa turtle fight, parang nag-scramble yung El Ganador Esports to the point where hindi na maganda yung kanilang decision making at nag-decide silang lumaban. Ginamit yung Eve ultimate with Percent on top. But then again, dahil nga merong sanib, merong grab itong si Granzu, napasama talaga na sobrang El Ganador Esports noon. And BREN Esports are so happy with this. First blood going in their favor. First turtle sa kanila din. Now they have maybe 600 gold lead over El Ganador, and that's a big opening dito sa early stage ng game.
Yeah. And right now, back to farming ang call ng El Ganador Esports. BREN Esports on the other hand, 3 members converging around the gold lane once again. Tumataas ang heat map natin dito in this area of the map. They're actually trying to push this lane as fast as possible. No? By push, I don't mean siege. I mean, bigyan ng advantage ang gold laner. Pero look at the burst damage coming in from Saksa with that double jab combo. Konting feathered airstrike na lang, and that is another kill for BREN Esports. Gusto nilang gumanti dito. Lumiere, nakahanap ng dalawa. Bouncing ball, defensive ang kanyang paglakad. Here comes the fade away, pero hindi pa rin naman namatay si Lumiere. Placing duet sa dalawa. Look at the damage from the Brody. And now, 3-0 na ang ating kill score. Lumiere, medyo kailangan na yan tumakbo sa laban na yon. And Turtle might be even free for BREN Esports, but they want the purple buff first. Hindi nga lang ito mananakaw mula sa lane, pero ang Turtle ay sigurado nang mapupunta sa side ng BREN Esports.
Great idea mula Joseph para tutulungan yung kanyang Kufra, but I think mas maganda yata na nabigyan na lang si Kufra, tapos na-clear na lang ni Joseph yung minion wave gamit yung kanyang Blazing Duo. That would have been a better trade, tas tsaka na lang siya umuwi. But instead, it was a different trade. BREN Esports na nakakuha na sila ng 2,000 out of the series of unfortunate events. Okay, so in fairness sa El Ganador, ito yung move na ginawa nila previously. Yung tinatawag nating double lane kung saan mid lane at gold lane yung makukuha wave of minions ng isang gold lane.
Real world manipulation, Brisk on the backline, the stun from the Brody.
Wow.
Corrosive strike, men. Bumaba ka dyan sa pader.
Oh my God, that was a great move mula sa BREN Esports. And for sure, si Brisk, maaawitan dun sa nangyaring play na yun. Could have been a easy kill para sa kanila. Meron siyang ultimate pa, pero dahil dun sa pagpapababa na yun, dun sila nakasama.
Feathered airstrike na cancel, and now Medivh or Few has to run away with the wings by wings. And now, Granzu trying to absorb some pressure here. Turret rather, going to BREN Esports. Men, they are securing objectives safely, aggressive, pero alam mo yung nagbaba sa tamang oras. Oh, here comes the straight flip coming in from the glue. And wala naman palang makukuha dito. Wolf, nandiyan ka na ba?
Yeah, unfortunately para sa El Ganador, yung trade, yung mid lane carry nila. Sobrang importante sa nila kasi tinutulungan silang i-secure yung purple na eh. So, sobrang gandang pick-off mula dun sa BREN Esports. Sabihin natin na ipag-trade sila ng outer turret sa top para sa outer turret sa mid. And sobrang happy ng BREN Esports sa trade na yun kasi may access na sila ngayon sa pag-contest ng purple. El Ganador, with the Ling, you always have to secure your purple buff.
And sobrang hirap mag-ling kapag wala kang purple buff, especially in a competitive setting like this one. You would want to maximize your ability to roam around the map. 4 people from El Ganador Esports, pero mukhang nakaamoy ang BREN. Sabi nila mag-back na lang muna. If you, maganda na ang kanyang pwesto. And here comes the blue. Granzu going in with the split and forces Joseph to BMI out. BREN naman on the other side of the map might even get a free turret.
Red team turret has been destroyed.
Amazing. Na map control ulit mula sa BREN Esports, and just like as predicted, it will almost be the same just in the previous game. But this time though, mas maganda yung nangyayari para sa BREN kasi 2 deaths na itong si Joseph.
Yeah. And now Brisk will be trying his best to walk away. Pero out of nowhere, ayun na nga, nakapag-stack pala ng more than enough for a kill itong Brody. Hirap talagang takasan ng hindi mo pwedeng iwasan. That torn apart memory. Pag nahawakan ka na, parang kawawa ka na eh.
You're right. So El Ganador, what happens now for their team is choke na sila ngayon. The thing is, naubusan sila ng Torre, 4 turrets, at sila ay farm dependent. What this means is hindi sila magiging komportable sa paglabas ng kanilang base. At alam natin na dalawa yung heavy farmers sa team na to. Ling, pati yung Claude, definitely kailangan ng farm. So, makikita natin ngayon kung paano magta-try na mag-recover El Ganador Esports. Paano nila hahanapin at mag-TTS dito sa playing field na meron sila. Ang liit ng kanilang mapa, which also translates to less farm. Ang gagawin ba nila dito ay magsisplit ceiling tapos tatangke ng 2 or 3 minion waves or itong si Claude? Or will they go for a kill? I would say dahil wala sila nung parang hero like Kakadita. Dito kasi Eve, so medyo nasa formation-wise yung hanap nila. Hindi sila yung pang-big off. So, yun yung magiging tricky at this point. How will they approach this disadvantage na meron sila?
Joy Boy doesn't have the flicker na burn niya kanina. Here comes the real world manipulation. Masesecure ni Saksa ang Lord para sa BREN Esports. That is a level 1 Lord. Granzu, pinapahirapan ng buhay ni Lumiere. The fight still continues here. Nagkakabuuhan na ng Squid Games dito. Double kill for Saksa Jago pero na-shutdown na. Healing spree para dito ang Brody. Nakakabawi pa rin ng El Ganador pero sabi ng Brody, wala nang bawi-bawi pa. Pumatay ako ng 4. Dagdagan mo pa. El Ganador Esports. They lose out the Lord and they lose the fight.
Wow. Okay, that was definitely the Ruby. Bakit nanalo yung BREN Esports doon? Nakuha nila yung Lord. It was a very clean take. And maintindihan mo ba nila gawin? Hindi natin makikita dito sa mismong fight. Pero yung ulti ni Q ay sobrang layo to the point na hindi siya actually pumunta doon sa circle ng El Ganador Esports. Pero yung ginawa dito ni Joy Boy, he made sure na safe yung distansya ni Farsa para ma-pop niya yung feathered airstrike. Hinatak niya yung kanya mga kalaban at nilagay doon sa area of coverage ni Feud. Just right at the tip, at the perimeter of that feathered airstrike. And what it did, what it resulted into ay the 2 now yung mga members ng El Ganador Esports, including yung Ling at yung Claude, the main damage dealers nila. So BREN Esports really alam nila kung paano gamitin tong Farsa ni Few and tong Joy Boy na Ruby. Worth it na iban to,
Boy,
for sure.
Here comes the real world manipulation. Percent actually survives with a Continent Inferno. Hindi rin siya natapos ng torn apart memory. Pero grabe no si Joy Boy with the just the tips playstyle. Talagang hinahabol niya yung mga kalaban para maibalik doon sa kaduluduluhan ng Barca Ultimate. And now, in the mid lane, here comes the siege. Granzu with a split looking for a target. Lumiere looks to be the first one. Hindi ata siya makakabit. Delikado na si Granzu. Low HP na. Lumiere in front of a lot of people. Pero na-CC change siya. Hindi na nagpag-stun pa. Here comes the link. Tempest of Blade still available. Pero mukhang babagsak na nga ang Barca. Tatlo na pala ang nawala sa El Ganador Esports. Look at the damage from Games. Kailangan ng respetuhin tong bro din to, men.
And again, it was Joy Boy. Ang ganda ng talon ni Lumiere, tatlo yung nahuli. Out of the 5, ang hindi niya nasama is yung Ruby, which meant na isang second skill lang ni Joy Boy, cancel na kaagad yung animation ng kanyang ultimate. That's why hindi niya na-chain stun enough para makakuha ng magandang jump ang El Ganador Esports. The punish coming out from Joy Boy ay sobrang ganda. At ito yung dahilan kung ba't ang BREN Esports ay nakakuha din na to sa bottom lane. Ahead sila ng 7,000. Hindi pa tapos ang laban para sa El Ganador. Alam natin, meron pa silang scaling. But, man, if you execute like that almost all the time, sobrang lapit nun. May Lord pa na parating, Womi.
This is really big for whoever gets this. El Ganador, this is the first Luminous Lord of the game. If ever they do secure this or steal this away from BREN while surviving, this is huge for them. Pero BREN Esports, half HP, below half HP on this Lord. Naglalaban na para sa pressure. Nabawasan agad si Brisk. Yung Lord pa ang tayong sumampal. Parang ayaw ng mundo sa kanya. And here comes the initiation coming in from BREN Esports. Real world manipulation. Nandiyan na rin nakailang dalawa dito. Si Ruby at pinalik ni Granzu. Monster kill para sa Brody at hindi pa rin siya namamatay. Kanina pa pumapatay. 6-0-4 na siya as they start the Lord once more.
This is gonna be good para sa BREN Esports since wala yung frontline ng El Ganador. Yung blue ng gugulo na lang doon sa may backlines. Almost automatic sila makakuha nito. Fortunately para sa El Ganador Esports, meron silang Eve para sa wave clear when the Lord push does happen. Kaso wala na sila nung new effect ngayon ng mga turrets kung saan may sabog. I think na-expand na nila yun across all of their turrets. Now, yung El Ganador, kailangan nilang protektahan si Eve. As well as the Claude. So, yun yung dalawang hero sila na may wave clear. Siguro ang pwedeng gawin dito is mag-risk na itong si Brisk. Na gumawa dun sa mga split push tactics. Medyo malalim na magkakatch ng mga minion waves para makatulong din sa defense itong El Ganador. But, like I said, doable ang defense ng El Ganador dito. Just make sure na hindi mamamatay si Eve at si Claude.
Lord is already marching down bottom lane. The ultimates are expended. There's Squid Game na magkahiwalay malala. They're going in for the base. Nandito na nga yung Lord at si Granzu ang mag-zone out sa karamihan ng mga miyembro ng El Ganador Esports. Both side lanes are already down for El Ganador as BREN Esports steals away the orange buff and the rest of the jungle area of El Ganador. Nato-turtle na ata ang El Ganador dito. Wala silang choice kundi manatili sa loob ng kanilang base.
This is the result of them losing yung kanilang yung kanilang outer turret sa may mid lane, eventually losing yung early stages of the game, di ba? Nawawalan sila ng mapa. And this is also a result ng kanilang decision na kumuha ng dalawang greedy na cores, di ba? No, game number 1, Roger plus Claude. In a way, yung Roger maganda pa siya sa early, hindi siya ganun ka-item dependent kumpara sa isang Ling ngayon. So, bukod pa dyan, yung Ling ay buff dependent. So, kailangan nilang umangat ngayon sa base. So, hindi nila magawa yung pamapunch nila.
Biglang sumabog si Mingwin and it's a godlike Brody already. Sabi ni Granzu, teka, ibabalik ko kayo sa mga tropa ko pero humiwalay na pala. Dumivorce na doon sa Kufra. At ngayon, mid lane naman ang hanap ng BREN Esports. It is a 4v5. And they're going in for the first Tempest of Fate. Walang nahanap si Brisk sa backline. Balik tayo sa mid lane. Lumiere, bumagsak with the legendary Brody. Look at the damage coming from Blade into it. Kailangan mag-BMI pabalik. Pero sabi ng Blue, ayoko na sa'yo. At papagsak na rin na ang dito. Isa na lang si Brisk ang hanap ng BREN Esports. Pero sabi nila, kahit what na, dang ka na lang sa wall. Base ay sa amin. Punta na tayo sa Game 3.
Well, executed this time para sa BREN Esports at na-close out nga nila yung laban. And we did expect this to happen. It will be the same as game number 1 pero ang difference is mas maka-close out na to ng BREN Esports. Number 1 dahil nalaman na nila kung ano ba yung pinagkamali nila ng game number 1. And second is they actually went in and be aggressive noong mid-game part. Nag-force sila ng mistakes and errors on the side of El Ganador. So, unfortunately, itong greedy lineup ng El Ganador Esports, it did not work. We expected it to really have a lot of difficulty when it comes to the farming at kitang-kita naman natin yan. 9K ang inabot ni Joseph, 8.4K ang inabot ni Brisk. Kung ikukumpara yan sa BREN Esports, si Kevs naka 13K na. Tapos itong si Saksa at 12K. So about siguro 2 items ahead itong ating Brody, 2 items ahead naman itong ating Pakito, the jungler.
And looking at the score din, this was a very dominant win for BREN Esports. A statement win na hindi sila basta-basta magpapatinag sa lower bracket. So this is next game, whoever wins, winner takes all na basically because it's the third game of a best of 3 series. Now let's watch the smart plays of game number 2. No, this is quite the treat for BREN Esports fans dahil from early to mid, actually early to late game, it is a BREN Esports game. As you said, Wolf, the late game carries of El Ganador Esports needed a lot of money, and if you can't get that resources early on, it's gonna be hard for you to scale. But let's talk about Joy Boy a little bit in this game. I feel like he deserves to be talked about considering na ang dami niyang playmaking na ginawa for BREN Esports this game. What's one play that you remember, Wolf?
Oh, wow. Okay. So, siguro makikita natin yun dun sa Lord Fight 8 minutes kung saan nag-ulti na si Farsa at parang wala masyado naabot si Few dun sa El Ganador pero ang ginawa niya, hinatak niya papunta dun sa area of coverage ni Farsa. And then the other play na hindi ko makalimutan is ang ganda na nung talon ni Lumiere dun sa may top lane, dun sa malapit dun sa inhibitor turret ng El Ganador Esports sa may top. Tapos, since nakahiwalay siya, nagamit pa niya yung stun nung second skill para makancel yung ultimate na coming out from the Kufra. We'll see it this time. Look at the positioning of Few kasi alam niya na pwede siyang puwersahin. At nung pagka-ultimate niya, ayun, hinatak ni Joy Boy papunta dun sa ultimate ni Farsa. And really, El Ganador Esports, hindi nila in-expect yung play na yun. At sobrang kitang-kita natin gano'n siya importante. And this is another play na makikita natin. Look at Lumiere. Tatalon siya at makakahuli siya ng up 3. Oh, this wasn't it pala. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. We'll see it. There you go. Tapos na-cancel ni Ruby yung play. And I think in the last Lord fight, mahuhuli din ni Joy Boy etong si Eve at makakuha yung pick-off, which meant na walang defense ang El Ganador Esports. Wala sila nung wave clear na hinahanap nga natin. And it was BREN Esports that's winning the fights because of good shot selection. Ito yata yun, makikita natin yung hatak ni Joy Boy doon sa isang Eve na sobrang importante sa defense ng El Ganador Esports.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like another person that's worth mentioning this time around is Kev Su as well on this Deathless Brody. Umabot pa nga ng Legendary. And Brody right now in the current meta na nakita natin dito sa SIBOL 2022 National Team Selection parang napakataas ng win rate or pick rate ng isang Brody kapag nakakalusot sa gold lane. Range and damage ang nadadala ng isang Brody. How can we even begin to counter a pick like Brody? Ano bang mga naiisip mo right now?
Well, I think muna is lane matchup in your lanes. So, merong mga marksman matchups na pwede mag-work. Siguro yung mga Clint. Kasi ngayon, in the absence of Beatrix, naging even up yung yung mga gold laners, right? 'Di ba? Parang may matchup na may Popol, may Brody, tsaka Clint na nag-aagawan sila sa spot na yun sa may gold lane. Way to counter it maybe is get your mages din talaga, like your Lilia o mga Farsa, mga Eve. Although even Farsa na nerf sila, so this leaves us to what? Cecilion, Lilia, mga mahirap siyang i-execute, but in a way, they are the burst mages na may magandang reach para hindi makapag-gap closing sa Brody at makakuha sila nung eventual punish.
Let's see if BREN Esports will be able to close this out via reverse sweep or babalik ba muli ang nagawang not milagro, ang nagawang kalakasan ng El Ganador sa Game 1. We are entering Game 3 for BREN Esports and El Ganador Esports. Do or die, loser has to go home. Muli kami ang inyong casters. My name is Tio Ignacio. Kasama dito si kay Sam Wolf de Pueto. Magbabalik ang SIBOL 2022 National Team Selection powered by Smart after a short break.